Hey Gemini, how's it going? I hope everybody is doing well amidst everything that is going on. I know that it's probably driving many of you crazy in different ways. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna get cozy here. Um, for those of you who are stuck inside, and then of course for those of you who are still out in the battlefield doing whatever it is that is essential currently, but especially those who are in the health field and health industry, especially those saving lives. So a big shout out to any of those people that may happen upon this video. But thank you for joining me, Princess P Tarot. I'm trying to get it up and running and all of that good stuff. So I will just jump right into it for you guys. My dog basically will do anything to get attention. It's like, oh, you're talking to somebody else or doing something else? Let me go grab my ball and let me grind on my bone very loudly. Can we please stop that, maybe? Ugh, we may have to put up with it. Okay. She's being very needy lately because we can't. I'm in the city and you can't go to parks and stuff like that. So we're limited to what our usual activities are. And so between actually having to work, which luckily I get to do from home now, but it's still hard to, walk her or run her enough, to get that lab energy out. Anyway, so how this is going to work. So this is going to be your general reading from, basically whenever you read this and or watch this story and it resonates with you. But for those who do like to have timelines, I'm recording this around April 17th now, I think it is. And typically, I guess it'd be about 2 weeks out. So let's say, moving into the latter part of April, moving into May, and going from Aries season into Taurus season before we go into yours. So, I have pre-shuffled, pre-cut, and pre-dealt the spread using for the main spread the Enchanted Tarot, and for the clarifying, or basically to further the story or give more definition guidance to the story, it's just my Gilded Tarot. Well, not mine, but the Gilded Tarot. Now, typically I'll shuffle out 10 cards, especially for the main spread, and if more cards really want to come out, then I will take them. So that did happen towards the end of the spread. So with the spread, it goes basically from your now energy, or your current energy, current situation, recent past, up here, then going down to what's going to be happening um, going into May. Now, it was actually a really interesting shuffle, so I kind of wish I had recorded it. Uh, just because I had, like, when I was doing the pre shuffle, typically, like, one card will come out at a time, and so three cards came out at the end, like I said. And then when I was doing the shuffle with the clarifiers, um, it happened twice that I thought that I saw that one had flipped in the deck as I was shuffling them out, but I looked through it, I didn't see it. So I kept on shuffling, and then that card like came out, but like upside down, not like, I mean, it had actually flipped in the deck. So that happened twice, which was funny, um, and why there ended up being two cards to clarify, this one in the main spread. And then at the very end, it just like when I had shuffled the main spread and three cards came out kind of in a chunk, the exact same thing happened with the clarifiers. Like there were three clarifiers that came out in a chunk to clarify the three cards that had came out in a chunk, and I thought that that was kind of interesting as well. Um, Maybe it's one of those you kind of had to be there things. Anyway, let's jump right into it. So how I will start with this is just reading the bottoms of the decks to get the overall energy. Okay. Okay, so for the overall energy, we've got the Queen of Wands in reverse. This is what she looks like in the upright. So that would be, of course, female fire sign energy, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. Now, when she's coming up in the reverse, it means that she's pretty pissed off about something. She's usually unhappy. So you could be dealing with a fire sign, possibly an older fire sign, could be a boss figure, could be a mother figure, could just be a partner, spouse, love interest, that could potentially be older than you, or just more emotionally mature. No offense, Gemini. However, it appears as though the overall energy to this story is going to be that whomever this might be, they're pretty upset. They're pissed off. Now, if this is your energy and you're picking up on any fire energy, which maybe not, I'm not getting that. I'm getting that you are dealing with somebody. Now, of course, this could be any sign, because it, with fire energy, it is just a very passionate, it's an emotional energy, and it's very passionate. So it could just be anybody, regardless of their zodiac, that's being very fiery, very pissed off at you, possibly. This is upsetting you. So somebody in this situation, now again, like I'm already picking up that there are, or is, more than one party in the situation. I mean, this is a general reading, it's not a love reading, but I usually get the vibe from the first few cards that come out. Now, if this was towards work, this could be that, you know, you've got an upset boss, and due to this you've been, you know, losing sleep over it, because we had the Nine of Swords that came out, which I usually get as, you know, being depressed, losing sleep, you know, having swords kind of hanging over your head, or feeling like something's hanging over your head, so it's, you know, it's keeping you up at night because of a pissed off fire sign lady. Or you know, it doesn't have to be a fire sign. Like I said, somebody just being very fiery and irritated. So you probably know if this is going to resonate with you by this point who that would be. I mean, if it is a relationship type situation, then it could be that, you know, I find that with a lot of people, of course, being isolated in a space with somebody, then when they haven't had to, they've had, you know, the freedom to be able to go out and do their own thing or whatever. And couples, especially, like, you know, newer couples and things like that that haven't like lived together for that long, are experiencing, you know, there might be some strife going on. There might be some thoughts coming to surface, or, you know, revelations, I guess you could say. Let's see what's in the main energy, or the main, or what's going on, I guess, like I said, currently or in your recent past. It's funny that I said revelations because we got the Ten of Swords, followed by the Judgment card. So the Ten of Swords usually would mean that you're actually coming out of a stuck situation, or coming out of a situation that was causing you pain. And with the Judgment card following that, that tells me that there's been a decision made, that you have already made a decision about something that is going to remove a burden for you. So that being said, and I will just show these a little bit closer up, because they are pretty cards. And I know that we can't see all of them. I will someday have better recording equipment. Okay. So, right. So this could be that if we're picking up on any past energy here, or overall energy, this could be this fire sign, or I'm saying fire sign, but I'm going to say, okay, this not happy person. This not happy person is, I am feeling losing sleep over the fact that there was a decision that was made that removed the swords potentially from you. Now, of course, the tables can be reversed, so you can reverse that if that is the case. It could also be that you were just losing sleep over having to make that said decision. The Judgment card can also mean a resurrection of something. So possibly there are some of you that, again, do you have somebody that is angry at you, that you're not speaking with? You're potentially losing sleep over this. However, there is going to be a coming back together that's going to be removing these swords from you. Now, where this is your now recent past, I would think that that would have, like I said, already happened or be happening, you know, right now. Mm-mm. Don't you hate it when you think that, like, in your an apartment building that your neighbors, like, might be able to hear you? Do you think that is that paranoid? Okay. Um, okay, so we have the Ten of Wands in reverse. So this is what is coming up. No, this is it in the upright. So reverse, and then the Seven of Wands to clarify that. So it looks as though, again, in the main energy, there's been a burden that's been removed with the Ten of Wands coming out in reverse, because when it's in the upright, you know, you're carrying a heavy burden or feeling like you're carrying a heavy burden, not necessarily getting help with whatever is going on. In the reverse, I feel as though there's been a burden released, but because of that, there's causing a lot of confliction. Like, you know, as if somebody is wanting to push someone else out the door, right? So it's like there could be multiple people coming at you, you feel, or there just could be you could just feel that, like, there's like your people are coming at you. It's just ah, I'm getting almost like you could be. I'm feeling like you're, you know, kind of isolated, maybe in a situation where, like I said, you kind of came to a decision a little too late, or somebody came to a decision a little too late, and now you're kind of stuck in that conflict, or there is conflict, or there's going to be conflict. Um, I don't want to, you know, scare anybody. Okay, so then we've got the Judgment in reverse. Now, I mean, with the Judgment in reverse, it's basically the same thing, except it just solidifies to me coming out in reverse that it just means that there's been a decision made, that it's not a resurrection. Um, that there's just, this is a finale, like a final, this is finale, this is the finale, the finality. Um, the decision has been made, the judgment has been said, and then coming out with that is the Five of Pentacles, so the feeling of being left out in the cold, being, you know, impoverished, or if that's a word. I really should look that up because I think I've used it a couple times. But feeling, but just, it could just be, of course, just the feeling of being left out in the cold, or somebody's feeling like they're being left out in the cold. I hope that nobody's actually pushing somebody out the door right now and leaving them out in the cold with nowhere to go. I hope that's not actually happening. So if the tables are turned and this is you doing this to somebody else, then don't do that. But there's definitely, like, I mean, on the upside, I feel as though this has kind of been something that's been maybe a long time coming, and there's just been certain things that have, in this time where you've had time to possibly, we'll see what else comes out, but where you've had time to possibly reflect. I'm sorry that I'm squirming so much. I'm working from home now, and so I'm not sitting properly, and so it's like, I'm really crampy. Um, but yeah, so like I said, so I mean, where we, a lot of us, I don't want to say everyone, because I feel like I say everyone and I'm insulting those people who are still going out and working, you know, and having to leave their homes. So those of us who are fortunate enough to be able to stay safe and sound in our houses, um, are having a lot of time to look at things a lot differently. And I mean, with Gemini, you guys are very emotional beings anyway. Um, but possibly, like, the thing is that you're really attracted to beauty and the beautiful things, and so you can kind of move quickly sometimes, and also kind of change you're Gemini, you're the twins, right? So you are your own twin. And so, I mean, if you are in any kind of a relationship where, like, potentially you have shacked up with somebody or something like that, you may be regretting it now. Like, you may have had that change of heart, or just had a more settled, you have had time to not have to do anything or do as much and kind of settle. Anyway, I just wanted to, yeah. I ramble a lot. This is why I do the pre-shuffle, just because I don't want people to think it's too long. And I mean, if this does not resonate with you, then make sure that you check out your moon or your Venus or your rising, because those ones may. Or if you know anybody else that this might resonate with and you think that they should listen to it, like if you're a cross watcher or something like that, like, you know what I mean? Do her up. Alright, so Three of Swords. Three of Swords. So somebody is heartbroken. Or somebody's going to be heartbroken. Looks as though this is coming up next week, or this is the residual from kind of all that's going on up here. And then we've got the Hermit in reverse. So we're still hermiting. Actually, I mean, that's kind of coming out of Hermit mode. So if you've been hermiting, then you're going to be coming out, or you're dealing with a Virgo who's also not happy. Three of Swords, maybe there's a third party situation going on with a Virgo in the fire sign. No, but I think that like I said, there is definitely some heartache feeling that's being caused. There's no light that's being shined, that's being shone on the situation. Shown. Where are we at right now? 20 something minutes. Okay, we're almost there. But anyway, like in the upright, Hermit is, he's shining a light on something, bringing light to a situation. There is being no light brought to this situation that is heartache. So I'm actually kind of getting the vibe that maybe somebody might be trying to talk about it. Trying to, can we just talk about things? Can we just talk about it? Like, and then somebody else is kind of like, I think that, like, we kind of talked about it a lot, and I'm kind of over talking about it. So you could be dealing with in Aries, just because we do have the Emperor coming out over the Moon card. So with the Moon, it could mean that there are secrets that have been revealed. It is the shadow side, coming out with the Emperor. This could be you picking up that Emperor energy, that fire sign Aries fire, but again, we did have her come out in reverse up here, so if you are dealing with an Aries, or if, again, like, you know, a boss figure of any sort, then it seems as though they are, or you are, if you're picking up on that energy, standing your ground, standing in that, you know, that power. Like if there's a power struggle, like I said before, almost if it's like, you know, somebody's kind of like, can we talk about it? You're being like, or, you know, like, you know, can we talk about the, like, you know, the fact that there was like a lie, or that there were secrets, or you know, something like that. Like if somebody's trying to say, no, I didn't do anything wrong, or something of that sort. Let's see what's up with the two. Like, I don't want to blame anybody for, like, cheating or anything. Okay. And I mean, it really could just be somebody dealing with their shadow side as well. But, or there's just something in the shadows. There's just something that, maybe there was something that was kind of hidden before. Again, that just didn't come out until now. We've got the Five of Wands, so more conflict. A lot of the time this can be internal confliction, or being conflicted about something, but just with kind of everything else that's going on. I mean, still could be that on this particular card there are two people that are kind of head to head and pretty much fight with each other. Coming out with that came the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords. So with pages, I will most of the time see them as communication or messages. So the Page of Wands, this would be some sort of passionate message, or it could be a message coming through from, or communication from a fire sign. It could just be a younger fire sign. Or it could just be a passionate message coming through, or fighting. Because then it did come out with the Page of Swords as well, which is very sharp, fast moving communication. Can also mean somebody kind of watching you on social media. Sometimes it's called the stalker card. I mean, it did come in the upright, so I don't think it's that, like, I don't think it's anybody like stalking you. I think that it's just maybe somebody's watching someone on social media. Again, please reverse any of these roles. Because I'm not placing blame on either party. I just know that there is a fiery, angry lady. Whether that is you or that is somebody else. That is where we started from. And so there's more angry communication possibly coming through, because this is definitely fighting. This is definitely communication coming out over that. Passion can still be angry. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so we've got the Six of Wands. So somebody being victorious. And again, the Moon card. I mean, you could be dealing with a Pisces as well. So I mean, we've got Pisces, Virgo, and Aries, very strong Aries energy just with the Queen and the Emperor. But this coming out in the Victory card, okay, so this is having recognition or being recognized for something. So perhaps there is a secret that, like, maybe next week you're starting to recognize and kind of start calling somebody out on it. Like, perhaps that's what that communication is that's starting a fight over here with these guys, like with the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords. It's interesting just because there's so little water energy coming out so far. So it's very much, I'm very much not getting that this is you causing this. Again, I always feel so hesitant. Like, I never want to, just because there's so many different situations when you're reading for a collective, or a very, at this point, small collective. Hopefully it will grow and I'll be able to pick up on more energy. So hopefully this is resonating with whomever is watching it. If you've gone this far, then clearly it must be. But like I said, so this secret, and I'm seeing where that, like I said, where it's coming out with the Six of Wands. Um, I'm so sorry about that glare. I have terrible lighting in this apartment, so I have to like put my lights like close and then again the Moon card. So where we've got the Moon card and the Emperor up here and the Six of Wands, so more fire energy, but again that victorious, being victorious over a secret. So speaking of water energy, okay, so the next ones that came out were the Devil and the Ace of Cups. So a new emotional offer and the Devil. So it could be Capricorn energy, of course, but alright, I'm just like, ooh, cool, okay, okay. This is just gonna be for some of you, okay? But, and I hope whoever this is for actually watches this. Especially if you're, well, yeah, if you're a male watching this video.